Audio. Okay. Okay, audio. Yes. Okay. Okay. Hello. And yeah, my name is DrWeez. Welcome to my stream. Today, very quickly, what we're going to do is have a look at the Pro OC Cup. It is now the fourth stage. 3DMark Vantage. The limitations are that we need to use Broadwell E, a single video card, and that's about it. So what have I got set up so far? And let's just have a look quickly. I'll switch the screen over to show you what's on the bench. Alright, so what I've got set up so far, I've got a MSI XPower titanium X99 board that's all set up and ready to rock and roll. I've got the Intel Core i7-6950X using the Corsair Elite AX1500R. That's this one over here, just off the screen. I'll move it in a bit there. You can see that's what's delivering the power today to a NVIDIA 980 Ti, GTX 980 Ti, single card. I am using the Kingston HyperX Fury 2666C15s, and those are the memories that I was using to do that memory try-it on Thursday night. Unfortunately, I had some network connection issues. Similar to what I'm actually experiencing now, to be honest. I'm only getting 500 kilobits per second upload speed, so I'm not too sure what's really going on with our servers, our stream server in Taiwan. Needless to say, it doesn't matter. I will actually hit the record button and record this session as well, maybe if I got enough hard drive space. So we'll upload it thereafter. Okay, so let's have a look. Yeah, we're using the the HyperX Fury 2666 C15s, so they are rated at 1.3 volts to reach that frequency. On the memory try-it, so let's just recap as to what that was all about. The idea is once you start pushing your memory, the BIOS will by default loosen up the clocks, and you won't get the best performance out of your megahertz. So what memory try-it does, it enables you to try different predefined sort of timings to get the best advantage out of both speed and latencies and your settings. So if I take the set of Kingston HyperX 2666 C15s, if I start pushing that frequency up to like 3000, 3200, 3466, you start to see the CAS latency start to increase dramatically as well. So XMP is, I think, 15, 17 or something to that effect. And the minute you start pushing the frequency, it starts going up to CL19, CL20, CL22. And when you start doing that, you're just not getting the advantage out of the speed because the latencies are too loose. So even though you're running faster, you are actually running a little bit slower because it's taking longer to do some of those cycles. Memory try-it, basically, I was able to run 3, 4, 6, 6. C15, so C16, 18, 18, and that's the timings I'm planning on using today to run 3DMark Vantage. So it was all done basically using memory try-it. Alright, so I see my upload speeds have increased again to 400 kilobits, so we should be alright. Guys, I am only monitoring the chat on Twitch, so please drop me a message there if you are experiencing some problems. I'd love to hear from you, so please also just pop by and say hello and ask any questions. If you do miss any of this live stream, it is again the replays are published to YouTube, so you can follow me there and get notification of when those are published. So the system telemetry that you see down in this section over here is not connected up to tonight. I will be using my Fluke 52 thermometer, and the reason for that is I've just got some issues with the Arduino, and I just need to sort that out, but I need to also get these scores done. So I do apologize about that. Full disclosure, I will be reading out the temperatures at regular intervals, so you will know what's going on. Everything else is ready to rock and roll. I've got two flasks of nitrogen ready to start pouring. So I want to get into Windows, I want to get our base run in, and then I want to start pushing the processor up, I'm hoping for about 5.1, 5.2 out of the processor. Once we've done that, then we start pushing the video card and get a score on the board. I estimate this whole session today will run for approximately 1 hour, 1.5 hours. So do get your popcorn, get your cool drink, and enjoy the show. So let's get the show on the road. We'll then transfer all these screens so we get the right information on the screen. Hey Player TV, if I said that right, thanks for tuning in, man. How you doing? So one other thing is, because I'll be overclocking the video card today as well with liquid nitrogen, I do have quite a hefty fan on the VRM, so there will be quite a bit of background noise. I do apologize about that. So if you have a look on the screen here, I've got the video card in this section here. There's quite a nice, big, powerful fan on the VRM area here, just to keep that area nice and cool. So that being said, it just makes a hell of a lot of noise, and there's nothing really we can do about that, because I'd rather protect the video card than to have a VRM down me. So for now, the temperatures on the video card are not crucial. They just need to be maintained a decent temperature. The temperatures on the CPU, I would want to get down to around minus 100 or so, minus 80, minus 100, and then that should be plenty for Broadwell E. So if I put the multimeter flat on the big screen view, you should be able to see what the temperatures are, but we won't be working too much there. Okay. So we are losing signal. Alright, operating system of choice today, Windows 7. I've got the VGA drivers installed, 3270. I haven't done any level of detail. I haven't done any other changes to the drivers whatsoever. So 3DMark Vantage does benefit from level of detail tweaking. I'm not too sure if I'm even going to bother too much with that. It's just a case of I'd like to get a score around 85,000. If I can reach that score with minimal ease, I think we'll just leave it be. Okay, so I'm noticing that the video is a little twitchy. Okay, thanks for the feedback there. I'll give that through to the guys that are sorting my stream out for me. The feed on Twitch should be just as good as on Facebook, but I think what the problem might be is the resolution that we are streaming at. And we're not a premium partner with Twitch, so I can't set the stream to scale down, unfortunately. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the BIOS, and let's go through some of the settings that I want to change. Okay, I just want to open the front. Player, any tips for live stream bencher? Yeah, get the right capture card. It makes your life a hell of a lot easier. And that's number one tip I can give to anybody that's wanting to live stream any sort of games or overclocking or anything to that effect. The second thing is don't underestimate the amount of preparation time that's required to do anything. Nobody really wants to watch a stream that's doing all the boring stuff. Everybody wants to just see the action. So an immense amount of preparation has to go into these type of things. Other than that, yeah, just do it. Get the right internet connection and just do it. That's the best advice I can I can give. It's a lot of fun. Getting feedback from people is always great as well. Okay, so we're near temperature to go for it. So let me just quickly go while this is going. So the memory triage functionality, you can see here I set I've set 3466. I tried the memory triage on the 3466. It went and set 1.4 on the memory voltages, and it set the timings. Just hold a second. Okay, so if we go to advanced DRAM, and that's basically what memory triage set. And my Furies actually run that frequency quite well. And it's a great starting point. From here, you can go one step further, and you can set the command rate to 1. You can set your TREF a little bit tighter, and then all that sort of stuff. So the memory triage functionality really is a great starting point, along with the obviously memory presets. But I found that the memory presets were a little bit too hectic for this set of Furies. So the memory triage function really gives you a good starting point. Okay. Good evening, Frozen Threat. Thanks for tuning in. How are you doing? Anyway, okay. Getting a lot of drop frames on the stream. I'm just having a look at the settings here, guys. Sorry. Let's go through. Let's just get this ball on the road. We can have a look at the settings while it is running Vantage. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to load a profile that I was using for the W prime stage, and really this is all just CPU clocks. Nothing on the memory has been set for this profile, and I can go through and I can show you the DRAM timing mode still on auto. It's really just your input voltage, your core voltage, your ring voltage that have been set, and the DRAM voltage is still on auto. And this is just a profile that I was able to run at W prime 32M. So I'm going to use that as a baseline profile to get the CPU clocks. Okay, so just back to your question about, you mean for telemetry hardware, the scrolling port? Okay, so that is all a bespoke solution that has been designed by guys in Taiwan. I believe it's still in beta stage, so they will be rolling this product out as a retail, as a sort of retail product in the months to come. I'll definitely be letting you guys know as soon as it's out of the beta stage and into production. It's a really handy piece of hardware. Okay, so let's have a look, see where we are at. Alright, so I got lots of warnings on Facebook about keyframes. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the live streaming, guys. It looks like there seems to be some networking issues somewhere along the line. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got a 5G overclock, 126 base clock. We're sitting at minus 77 at the moment on the CPU. And the memory is just stock standard. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and run just a run Vantage just to make sure the CPU tests are at least stable on that. And then we can take it from there. So remember, I'm a fan of each step making a test just to make sure that whatever you set is actually stable. And we'll go from there. Okay, so that's quite a sharp pickup there. So yeah, it's possible that maybe one of the sticks is not sitting correctly. I'll have a look at that in a second. Yeah, I was doing some testing to see if it's scaled with 8 DIMMs over 4 DIMMs. I might have just not, one might not be seated correctly. I'll have a look at that. Okay, so 78 is not too shabby. That's a good start. We're wanting around 89, I guess, maybe 90. I think would be acceptable on the CPU score. Got channel 16 gig of memory there. I think I might show 16 gig even though only 12 gig is working. Let's get into the BIOS and have a look at that. Can't always trust what that is showing. So alright. So it says memory size 16 gig. Okay, so it should be fine. So let's have a look, see. Okay, so let's go through this again. What do we want to do? We'll push the CPU one more. See if that does it. We'll leave that there. Okay, temperature at -92 on the CPU at the moment. So I've got a question there from Player TV. Sorry, I missed it. What is the cold bug on that board? Yeah, the cold bug of this chip is around 105, 110, and the cold boot bug. I'm just trying to remember now. I actually can't remember what the cold boot bug is on this chip. Let's have a look at what I wrote down in the book. It appears I did not scribe down what the cold boot bug is. So I'm guessing the cold boot bug is probably around minus 95, I guess. Cold boot bug, yeah. Looks like my note taking has been a little bit desirable lately. MSI 6950X, I've got 4 lines of text, which is really not up to my standard. What it does say is I was able to run W'32M at 127 base clock with 1.585 at minus 105-ish. So, yeah. Okay, so that's 79. Is that down from earlier? I think it's down. No, it's up. It's up, yeah. Let me check these voltages. Yeah, okay, so one of those voltages is wrong in command center, which is causing the OCP when I set something. It really frustrates me when software isn't reading the values correctly. Anyway, I'm not going to get grumpy about that right now. So just to recap what happened there, I opened up Command Center to change the base clock. I wanted to change what was happening there, but Command Center didn't detect one of the voltages correctly, which in turn, when I changed the setting, it tried to set the incorrect voltage. By setting the incorrect voltage, the motherboard went into protection mode, and that's why it shut down. That might be too much. Okay, so let's try 5.2. Now, ultimately, each time you bench, you don't want to have to go through the same process that I'm going through now, as to discovering the max for the CPU. You really should need to spend time and get a good understanding of your CPU before you start trying to produce scores. And the reason for that is because you don't want to waste time discovering where your maximum frequency is. Okay, so I'm put 0, 0. I'm guessing I'm cold bugging. Yeah. Come on. Okay, so to recap what's happening now, so I've got 0, 0 postcode, what I suspected was a cold bug. So I had to clear the BIOS to come back from that. Really frustrating, but anyway. Let's take a different approach this time. I'm not going to go back to that approach. I think what I'm going to do is we are going to go back to the memory chart profile. That's Alt F3. Okay, so memory chart profile. I'll come in here and I'll change this to 125. No, let's leave it at 100. Who cares? We've got a 51. Got a 40. And then we need to change the input voltage. And we change this to override mode, 1.585. Ring voltage, 1.585. Let's see if that works. So, postcode 91 is where I was hanging out. Can't remember. That's cache. Open 5, okay. Yeah. Hey, Dan Kopp, thanks for tuning in. How you doing, buddy? Not much going on here at the moment. Just busy setting up the processor to get top in one, get a nice and easy 3400 on the memory, and then we'll get the 980 Ti down and do a little bit of something with that. Nothing too spectacular there. 980 Ti, yeah. I don't have money for 1080 or Titan at the moment, so I'm limited to using the old Hall of Fames. So yeah, Galax NVIDIA GeForce GTX 980 Ti. So at the moment I was just going through setting a nice and easy CPU clock, something that doesn't need too much attention. I just set the memory now using the memory tried function. So I've just set the 3466 memory tried for Hynix C16 1.4 volts, and let's go ahead and see if that is at least CPU stable, and then from there we'll do our first GPU test. And see what we get. So I got another nifty toy this week, which maybe I'll plug in just now and have a look. So it's a DrWeez multifunction mini amp meter. And what this will enable me to do, okay, so that's nowhere near stable. So what this will enable me to do is actually test the load of the power supply, on what the draw on the power supply is. So that'll be quite an interesting little test. so interesting question there, Kim Chow Japan. On the old Haswell processors, your 4770Ks and what you're using, the 4690K, well, I think 4690K was the Devil's Canyon. You might struggle to get much more than 4.8 out of a really good chip. The best thing to do is just to try, man. So yeah, the chips, you can definitely do much more than your stock frequency. So if your stock frequency is 3.5G, I'm guessing 3.7G should be really reachable without much effort, provided you do have ample cooling and you don't go too crazy in the voltages. But other than that, that's just my opinion. Your cooling, your motherboard, your memory, that all sort of plays a role. So yeah, the best thing to do is get onto Google, go to overclock.net. They have some great tutorials for some beginner stuff, and just have a look at their Devil's Canyon or Haswell overclocking. I can't remember exactly what the chip is, and from there you should be able to get a good understanding of how to do some of the basic steps. No, it's not going to run. Okay, so let's tone back that a bit. So maybe a little bit too aggressive on the memory clock. Let's try that out and see if it was the memory or if I've been too aggressive with the CPU. It was running this frequency earlier. I think let's tone back on that memory frequency. And try that. Wow, that upload speed is really not great. Really not great. Something not quite kosher going on at the moment. Anyway, right, where was I? I changed the frequency of the memory. Alright, so I estimated that this session would run for about an hour, and we're 45 minutes in, and I still haven't got anywhere that I'm semi-happy of on the CPU clock. So that's running. The differences here between this profile and the one that was giving me the trouble is this is a full 100 megahertz slower, I think, or a full multiplier slower, but I can up the multiplier and it will run. I've already done that test. But it's using the 125 base clock versus the 100 base clock. So I think I'm going to bypass it memory tried rubbish for now. When I say rubbish, I mean it's just not, it wants to run with 100 base clock. And I'm not going to do that, not now. So if I change that there, maybe it was a ring as well that was down. Oh. 2 dots. Is I don't think it's going to work. Let's just do it the old-fashioned way. Crying in a bucket. Let's start again. Okay, so let's go with this RAN, load that, and then changing that only. I had this running earlier. Okay, so screw it. Let's go back to, let's just go back to 5.1, I don't care. I'm not going to waste more time on this. No more time to waste. How did I have this running earlier and it's not running now? Okay, so we'll just use that as a base and build on it from there. So basically, I'm settling in for a 5.12 6 clock on the processor. I'm going to just try and dial in the memory a little bit. I think 1500 on the memory, 1600 on the memory should be fine. Timings I don't think need to be too bad. I haven't had time to do any sort of pre-testing. Excuse me. Oh, crikey. Okay, so never mind, that doesn't actually run. Hmm. I'm not gonna fight. Also there. I'm going to be in trouble for the World Cup, OC World Cup, that's for sure, or the World Tour in Germany. I just have not spent enough time with Broadwell E at all. I really need to spend more time with Broadwell E. I just refuse to spend too much time overclocking AFR. I must be honest, most of my focus has been on BDI. It's a problem when it comes to having to use bloody AFR. Anyway, I'm going to stop making excuses. Excuse me. So, good evening to all those who might have just joined in on the stream. This is being streamed on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So, guys, I'm monitoring the the chat on Twitch. So, feel free to drop by and say hello. The plan for this evening is to run 3DMark Vantage for HWBot Pro OC Cup. It is the second to last stage. Limitations being on Broadwell E and for me at least on Kingston on HyperX memory. So what I've been doing for the last hour already is just trying to get my CPU clock up to a place where I'm sort of happyish with it, and get the memory clock up to a place where I'm sort of happyish with it. So yeah, that's basically where I am at the moment. Once I'm sort of happyish with what I've got on the CPU and the memory, which I'm struggling with a little bit, I'll be honest, my old age is not helping me very much with the HyperX memory. It's a different RC to what I've been using for a lot of the other tests, mainly being AFR versus BDAR. So I haven't done any preparation work as far as pre-testing any of the memory on this motherboard. So it's really just, this is what I'd normally do. This type of testing is normally what I'd do before we even get onto the stream. And it's a little shitty as far as entertainment factor is concerned. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully things will start to run nicely and come right, and we can get on to actually doing some of the 3D benchmarking. So now I'm in the dreaded failed boot loop. Now let's try and overclock failed this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think on the MSI board, if you get into that dreaded failed boot loop like I was just in, you can hit the reset button 4 times, and then that will take it into that failed overclocked state, where you should be able to then be presented with your options to load a profile or go into the BIOS. I mean, there's no reason why that shouldn't have posted. It's really straightforward, simple stuff that was working at a higher frequency before. It's exceptionally frustrating at the moment. I really wouldn't mind overclocking on an ASUS motherboard right about now. Okay, well, you know what? I'm done for the day, I think. I'm just getting myself frustrated. I think I'll have a good night's sleep and then come back tomorrow and do some scores. I'm just not getting anywhere with this memory overclock. What I need to do now is actually have a look at what's going on with each individual DIMM, because it really shouldn't have a problem running to ask it to run. But anyway, I might be doing something really silly, but I don't have the patience right now to worry about any of that stuff. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to kill the stream. I'm done for the evening, guys. Thanks for tuning in. So the Pro OC Cup wraps up on Monday around lunchtime. I'll probably be back tomorrow sometime after a good night's sleep tonight, and I'll sort this memory issue out before I stream, so it's not this horrible, boring rot with me fighting with the motherboard. If you're not already subscribed to me on Twitch and you're not following me on Facebook, do so you'll get notification of when I go live. I'd like to say thank you for tuning in. Thanks for all the questions. It's great interacting with all you guys. And yeah, until next time, happy benching. We'll see you then. Cheers. Bye now.